Hello, virtual passengers. This is your Captain Keller speaking. I thought I'd go for something slightly different today. So what we're doing is we are going for a short flight in a Kodiak. I'm considering joining a virtual airline, and I need to do a flight within a few days of joining. And I believe the early flight hours have to be done in turboprops, and I've not really flown one before. So I thought, what better way than to give this a go? I've heard this is a good plane from another captain that I know, and yeah, so I've downloaded it and thought I would give it first flight today. I have changed the weather a little bit because I have done a couple of trial flights, but the weather was just horrendous and I just could not control the plane. So let's see how we're going to go. I'm not going to do anything fancy today, so we're not going to have any ATC. And we're also not going to have any GSX, so we're not going to worry about pushback or anything. The flight today is from Southampton, which is a relatively local airport to me, all the way up to Cardiff. Flight, I think, is about an hour or so just over. I think what we need to do now is just jump in the plane and get it set up. I'll show you the Navigraph charts actually now while we're out here. So as you can see on Navigraph, we're taking off from Southampton, and then we are going to be heading up north to Pepys, up towards Newbury, and then we're going to turn left at Charlie Papa Tango, over Bristol, over the Bristol Channel and straight into Cardiff. So I've set it up to do an ILS onto runway 30, and I believe we're taking off from runway 20 today, which will be good because I believe that's the direction the wind's coming from. Yeah, runway 20, and as I say, I've set up the ILS to come in, and our cruising altitude, I'll show you the flight plan in just a second. So the sim brief flight plan shows us today takeoff weight is about 3,200 kilos or 3.2 tons. And we are looking at fuel of 533 kilos or just over half a ton, and I'll show you how to do that on this plane because it is slightly different. We are taking off from runway 20 from Southampton, going direct to Pepys, then on the Yankee 321 airway to Charlie Papa Tango, and then we'll use the Charlie Papa Tango 1 Charlie approach and pick up the ILS, probably ILS Zulu, into Cardiff runway 30. Our cruising expected flight time today is about an hour and 20 minutes. That's from moving away from the blocks here to arriving at the blocks in Cardiff. Actual time in the air is about an hour and 5 minutes. And our cruising altitude today is going to be 7,000 feet. So we should hopefully get a good view of some of the scenery as we're flying around. So without further ado, let's get in the plane and start getting it set up. Okay, so as you can see, I've opened up the door, so I will get all of that sorted out obviously before I start the engine. So let's bring up my idiot's guide. So there's no what they call SIDs or standard instrument departures out of Southampton, so effectively we're going to be taking off in the opposite direction of where we need to go. So my plan is to go runway heading until we've cleared the runway and reached 1,000 feet, and then I'll start to use the autopilot to do a heading mode to turn us 180, pick up the route, and then a nice cruise, fingers crossed. So first thing we need to do, I love the hiss that this makes, turn on the master switch. Aviation bus and the auxiliary bus. I've closed the door, but what I'll do is open up the little window. I've just got to remember to close it. And then what we'll do is, rather than waste fuel putting in the flight plan, I'm going to put the flight plan in now. So just bear with me because I haven't done this very much. So we are taking off from bring up my sim brief plan. I don't need that for the moment. The sim brief plan. So we are taking off from EGHI. EG H. Now you can import, with all of my videos, you can actually import the flight plan, directly into the system, but I actually quite like doing it myself. It kind of just adds a little bit to the immersion. So we're flying out on runway 20, and we'll put the destination in now, which is EG FF. I have been doing some work on my video software, so I'm hoping you're going to be able to hear my voice a bit better now, and probably not actually hear the plane anymore. And we're going to use runway 30. Okay, en route waypoint, so we are going to Pepys, I believe, yep, direct to Pepys. If I'm too loud, please feel free to leave comments below. I'm trying to improve on the videos. Purpose. Purpose. And then we need to load an airway, so that is menu. Load airway. So we're going from Pepys and we're going out on the Yankee 321. And our exit is going to be Charlie Papa Tango. Yep, that's all good. So we'll load that in. Load that in. Excellent. We might as well do our takeoff procedure. Well, there isn't one, so we don't need to worry about that. We might as well do our arrival procedure. Procedures. Select approach, because there is... Am I going to use an arrival? Yeah, I'm using the CP Charlie Papa T1... Charlie Papa Tango 1 Charlie approach, aren't I? So we're going on to ILS 30 Zulu. Let's just see what else is down here. No, ILS 30 Zulu. And we're going to use the CDF initial approach fix. I'm not going to worry with minimums or things like that. I literally just want to get the plane up in the air and just get used to flying it, really. And I wonder if I can do my arrival. Ah, yes I can. Charlie Papa Tango 1 Charlie. There you go, didn't do that last time. Onto runway 30. Load that in. So that is the flight plan done. Excellent. There's the plane there, and I'm currently at a 40-mile range, so that's fine. We'll have a look at the taxi charts in just a moment. Actually, we can look at the taxi chart now. So let me just bring up Navigraph. Okay, so today, this is where we are currently parked. And we're taking off from runway 20, which is there, which is on a 199-degree heading, so I need to remember that shortly. So I'm basically going to come out of here, one taxiway, all the way up the runway, turn around, and then take off, fingers crossed. Okay, right, flight plan is input. What is next on my checklist? I have actually downloaded an app which has given me all the performance figures I need for the plane today. So it has given me a maximum torque of 1,760 foot-pounds, maximum 1,790 foot-pounds, so I've just got to remember that. And I am rotating, so my takeoff speed is going to be 60 knots. Okay. So what we need to do now is select the bypass. Well, I don't need bypass, I just need it on normal. Because bypass you only use on loose ground, gravel, grass, or if it is, the temperature is below 4 degrees. Let's do the 2 fuel shutoffs. I also need to make sure that one is off. Okay. Ensure emergency power lever is at normal, check. Fuel condition lever is at cut-off, which is that one there, so I'm assuming there it is. Yep, okay. Prop lever is at feathered, which it is. Throttle is at idle. Turn the auxiliary fuel pump on. I need to put on my beacon light because I need to warn them that I'm about to start. And we have got ignition to on. High start is preferred. Low start should be used if there's no ground power. There isn't, so we will use that on the starter. So turn ignition to on. And then low motor is that one there, so that should start firing that up. Turn on the generator and the alternator. Where are they? Generator on, alternator on. NG is up to 18, so I can move that up to low idle. There we go, fuel is now going in and the plane is spinning up. It's because it's still feathered, that's why, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Fuel flow pounds per hour is 111, should be between 80 and 110, so that's fine. Auxiliary pump can now go back to standby. Starter can be turned off. And the ignition switch can be turned off. Turn on the lights, so not going to worry about strobe till we get on there, so taxi lights on. Move that up to max. Then we can taxi, so that should now moving up, yep, there you go, and start to spin up even faster. I'll wait for these figures to settle. And then we'll start the taxi. RPM's at 1,000. Stopped, parking brake on. Let's finish setting the plane up. Okay, so 88 knots on here. Need to press in the heading button. That means that I stick at the same heading that I'm at now. Flight directors are on. I will turn the autopilot on at about 1,000 feet. Okay, that's that done. I won't put it onto nav mode, I'll put it onto heading mode. And I do turn it on. Flight level change. Flight directors are on. Flaps down to 20. Okay. Just need to check that I've done everything on here. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Move propeller to max RPM, which I've done. Excellent. Take off. Turn the auxiliary fuel pump back on. What I also need to do is turn off my taxi lights, put my landing lights on, put my nav lights on, put my strobe on. Put the auxiliary pump back on. Start the timer. I'm not really sure how to start the timer, to be fair, so we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Heading button, I've done that. Flaps to 20, done that. Increase prop to high idle. Set elevator trim. So I have heard that really you kind of want it about parallel with the ground, so about there. Set rudder trim, done that. Aileron trim, 5 to 6 clicks to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Done that. Turn on the transponder, I'm not going to worry about that. Do not go over the maximum torque, which we're not running at 300. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's try and take this bad boy off, shall we? So we're taking off at 60 knots today. Foot brakes on. Rudder centered. Parking brake off. Throttle up to halfway. Make sure it settles down nicely. Off the foot brakes. Full throttle. Wait for 60 knots. RPM's torque's looking good. 1200. Can't go over 1670. 50 knots. 60 knots. Rotate. And we're up in the air. 85 knots. Flaps up one level. Trim. 95 knots. Flaps up. Start going to the left. Climb in. Feet. Get that off. Autopilot on. Where's the nav mode? Nav mode. Plane is now taking control. Okay guys, hope you enjoy the cruise, and I'll speak to you again when we get towards descent, but just watch us fly over the city of Southampton first. Southampton and Eastleigh. I know some of my followers or subscribers, are down this way. Wonder if you can see your house. That is the M27/M3 below the right wing there. Anyway, enjoy the cruise. You enjoyed that really quite short cruise with some lovely scenery, and basically what I'm going to do is just brief the descent with you now so that you're ready, and then I'll speak to you again when we hit descent. So if we have a look at the Navigraph chart, because we're using the ILS today, we need to be at 2,200 feet by waypoint Delta 134 Hotel. Looking at our altitude at 7,000, we've basically got to lose 5,000 feet in round numbers, and using the rule of 3, you just multiply the height you've got to lose by 3, so 5 times 3 is 15, so that means 15 miles out of Delta 134 Hotel we need to start descending. So when we get to Charlie Delta Foxtrot, it's only 8.2 miles to the initial approach fix. So what we're going to do is 7 miles outside of CDF or Charlie Delta Foxtrot, we're going to start to descend. We'll descend sort of about 600 feet to begin with, 600 foot a minute, see how we do, and then we should be able to pick up the ILS, which is going to take us all the way in. I should just have to arm the approach mode, which is there. So I'll speak to you again when we descend, and hopefully we'll get some good views of the River Severn as we're going in. So enjoy the rest of the cruise and the beginning of descent, and I'll speak to you when we get to the initial approach fix. Hope you enjoyed the last bit of that cruise. We've now hit our top of descent, so we're going to now start reducing our altitude to 2,200 feet, so vertical speed at about 600 feet per minute. I'm not too fussed about monitoring my speed at the moment. So I've already input the runway heading, and I've also input obviously the minimum altitude that we're going to reach now, 2,200, to allow us to pick up the ILS. God, I forgot how much fun these little planes are to fly, you know. Certainly a lot more hands-on than the big airliners. Bang on glide slope again, just got to go slightly to the left. 2 white, 2 red. A bit more power. Flaps 3.
500.
Final adjustment. Ooh. Wow, that rudder is sensitive. Over the threshold. First time I've landed this plane. I think I've done too bad. Retard the throttle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cardiff. I hope you enjoyed this flight. I know I haven't parked in exactly the best place in the world. I haven't followed the procedures for parking, but as I said right at the beginning of the video, I just wanted to have a go with this plane really and see how easy it was to fly. And I must say, relatively easy. I forgot how much fun these smaller planes were, and certainly a lot easier to land manually than the jumbo jets. But don't worry, I will be back in the jumbo jets soon. And I've also got a few round the world legs to do in a small Cessna 172, smaller and slower than this plane, so the routes, the flights certainly won't be as long, shorter hops between runways, and I will certainly be doing some more flying in this Kodiak. Once I've joined the virtual airline, I will certainly be videoing those flights as well, so plenty more content to come for 2023. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm hoping to grow the channel this year in 2023, and as I've already said in the past, I have no intention to monetize it, so don't feel that I'll start asking for donations or anything in the future. This is purely for fun for me, and I thought I'd like to share the experience with you guys. So with that, I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.